Yes, to Joe Lieberman right now. You hope cooler, calmer heads prevail, Senator, but that's the big worry. This is a very polarizing issue, and emotions run extreme on both sides. What do you tell people?
Well, the first thing is this is an enormously significant decision. I mean, it's one of the big days in Supreme Court history. Justice Alito himself compared it in defending the overturning of a previous decision to the Brown versus Board of Education decision, which overturned Plessy versus Ferguson on the basic idea that our principle that separate but equal is not equal. So there's a lot of emotions out there, but I appreciated what President Biden said today. Obviously, he's against the decision. He's disappointed by it, but he's the president and he sets the tone. And he's saying to people who agree with him that the decision was wrong, you've got to keep it peaceful. That's the way we are in America. We accept the judgment of courts, even if we disagree with them. And I would add this note: if you disagree with this decision, but you were also horrified by what happened at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, because it was an attempt to violently interrupt the constitutional order of counting electoral votes, then you can't tolerate violence in response to a Supreme Court decision. You got to go back to court. You got to go back to the legislatures. As the president said, you got to get involved in the elections this fall and in 2024.
But he didn't say all of that. And I do appreciate what you're saying, Senator, about his expressing his disappointment with this decision and urging everyone to keep calm. I'm just paraphrasing. But he went beyond just expressing his disappointment, right? He questioned the motives behind it and the way and the approval of the 3 conservative justices and their arrival on the court, more or less impinging the entire court and the system we all have to rally around, whether we always agree with the decision that court makes or not. Doesn't that further incite anger that someone hears that and said, the president's right about this. This is a kangaroo court, and it was Trump that put all these guys in there, and that's a mistake, and it was rigged from the beginning. It feeds a beastly kind of behavior, doesn't it?
I don't think so, Neil. Look, the president really is disappointed, obviously, by this decision. He's got a right of free speech, if you will, to say so. If you read the decisions of Justice Alito and Justice Thomas and the 3 dissenting justices, they say some pretty tough things about each other and the opinions each side articulated. So it's just part of our system. But again, when the Supreme Court decides that's the law of the land, and I thought you have to consider not only President Biden's call for peaceful protest, no intimidation, but also the fact that he redirected people who are upset with this decision to the election process, to the campaigns, and ultimately, I think, probably back to the courts. There's a lot of room. This isn't over. I mean, the court today obviously removed the constitutional right to an abortion, but it did not, I don't think, say that Congress has no role here. And I think in the days ahead, you're going to find people in Congress trying to figure out how to, again, establish some national standard for abortions. Whether they can do it or not depends on the election in November. If Congress is as closely divided as now, or if Republicans control both houses or one, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So the activity will go back to the states, and that's not such a bad thing overall.
All right. Well, and again, commenting on that decision and the implications of it are one thing, more or less questioning the institution that created it. I don't know, Senator, on this one, we might not be seeing eye to eye, but it's always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you very much. It happens, right? It happens. Joseph Lieberman, the former U.S. Senator.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.